Alright, what's up everybody, Wince here. So this one I was really excited to make. This is my Sniper Vex build using Bloodshot skill in the Vex skill tree, using the truck sniper rifle, and then also I've got the bod shotgun with sniper rifle underbarrel for when bosses come out at, say, at drill sites. This one was a lot of fun to build, a lot of fun to record, just because it's so much different than your typical Vex run and gun or using Reapers and Spectres to do all the damage for you. So let me know in the comments if you have tried this build before and any changes you might make to make it better. Always looking for input to make things better. And with that, let's get started. Alright, I'm going to show you the skill trees up front. So you can see we're running mostly in the green Vex skill tree, and then focusing down here on Bloodshot. We've got 5 in the 4th seal, and then we've got 5 in Here Comes Trouble, and I'll go through all these right now. Alright, my first 5 are going into Leeching Attunement. So when we're attuned to Kinetic, we're getting Lifesteal. Part of this is we want to keep our health up as much as possible, but also the bigger thing is that it's going to give us an extra damage boost because we're getting 10% lifesteal, and then when we spec 3 points down here in Blood is Power, getting 300% of that, so we'll eventually get 30% extra kinetic damage from lifesteal. The next is Grave Sights. It's a kill skill, so getting critical hit damage and gun handling. 15% per stack for 3 stacks, so 45% for 10 seconds, which is huge because we're going to try to just chain our sniper kills as you saw in the opening videos. Then we're going to do 5 into Grave Implements. So Vex and her minions gain increased gun damage for a duration, also a kill skill. Once again, going into just chaining kills over and over again within these 10-second markers in order to keep the most gun damage. This one, another 60% gun damage boost. So after you get your first kill with your sniper, you'll have Bloodshot proccing, and then you'll have these kill skills that are gaining bonus damage in the background as well. Next 5 is going into material components, and just Vex gains increased kinetic damage. That's what we're looking for here. You see it also boosts kinetic status effect, but we didn't put any into Bloodletter for this purposes of this build. This is strictly sniper build. So 5 into material components, giving us extra 35% kinetic gun damage, and the truck sniper rifle is kinetic, so that's why we're focusing all on kinetic damage and gun damage base. The next 5 are going into Ars Arcana. This is a 45% skill damage boost. Because we're using Bloodshot as our primary thing, this is a skill, so this 45% goes in there. Now you could go in here and get into Grave Vitality, get 10% maximum health capacity, but the damage boost from Ars Arcana is far more, and then this takes 10 plus kills to get the max effectiveness out of it. So it really just comes down to getting the most out of everything we've got and not relying on our kill skills solely to provide gun damage. Next 5 are going into Bloodshot. This is really the centerpiece of this build. So whenever I use a rep kit or we have a class mod, whenever we get a kill with the sniper rifle, the next gunshot becomes a Bloodshot. This converts damage into kinetic damage, and it's based on your current health. So that's why Leeching Attunement up here is big. We're getting that lifesteal back and then keeping our health as maxed out as possible. And then 90% of our current health, we're going to use the Timekeeper shield in order to boost our maximum health, no shield. So again, all of this synergizing together, Bloodshot with Leeching Attunement, keep the health as max as possible. And then you can see I have +4 from a class mod, and we'll go over the class mods here in a second. Next 5 are going into Essence Leech, so gaining lifesteal. This is 10%. So an additional 10% onto the 10% we got here from Leeching Attunement. And now we're going to go 3 more into Blood is Power, which is gaining 300% of our lifesteal. So ultimately, you have 10% from Essence Leech, 10% from Leeching Attunement, and then 300% of that, so 60% of total kinetic bonus damage being dealt when your health is full, which is again why we're using lifesteal to keep that life up and not rely on rep kits. Alright, our next 5, we're going to go into the blue tree, the 4th seal. We're just going to put 5 points into gaining 15% gun damage. The reason for this versus your maximum health capacity is because the overall damage boost from that maximum health capacity took me from like 13,400 to like 14,000 health. And then you're only gaining about 800, whereas this 15% gun damage is going to be far greater on a gun that's shooting 8,000 damage per shot. Alright, next is 5 into Here Comes Trouble. So we're going to gain bonus kinetic damage with guns while action skill is active, 37.5%. So this is huge. Just anytime you hit your action skill, you can still use the sniper rifle as if it's a sniper rifle. You don't have to worry about that, and you don't have to use any of the action skills, the Eldritch Blast, in order to make this work. And due to that, you could, if you wanted to, you could do things like using Energy Vampire for status effect damage, or Grave Harvest for dropping soul orbs for health and status effect damage. I've got it on Witchy Triggerfinger just because it increases gun damage by 15% for 3 stacks every time I use Eldritch Blast. So I'm increasing my gun damage further, but these augments are an option, as you could just use the action skill as a means to boost your kinetic damage from enchantment, while just using these 2 augments in order to do extra damage on the side. Like I said, I'm just using Witchy Triggerfinger because I can use Eldritch Blast, still shoot without aiming, or excuse me, without ADSing, and then be able to get extra gun damage out of it. So because I'm not worried about Eldritch Blast, and I'm trying to keep my health as full as possible, I'm going to go without the capstone on this because Heart Piercer sacrifices your health. So now we can just do bonus gun damage, or with Eldritch Blast shooting without losing our health, we can do bonus damage via status effects using soul orbs, or bonus status effect damage via Energy Vampire. Any of these 3 will work. It's going to be up to you to give it a shot, see what works out best for you. But my favorite is Witchy Triggerfinger for this. Alright, next up for our weapons, I'm using the Looming Truck Sniper Rifle. This one only shoots 1 shot per second, which is fine, but it's a Jacob, so we get those critical hit ricochets. Also has a base damage of 8,766 for me. I picked this one because for the farmable sniper rifles, this is the one that has the highest base damage that I could find, and I wanted to get that high base in order to get the sniper kills with Bloodshot. Also, don't forget to inspect yours when you get it, because it can come with different crit multipliers, but it does have a base. The yellow text Fixer Upper essentially just has a higher base for crit damage, so if you can hit those crits, you're going to do a lot more damage using the Looming Truck than with anything else. And then I also have the BOD shotgun because it counts as a sniper rifle, and this is just for when things get way too hairy or I need another weapon form because of ammo purposes. You can find the Looming Truck over here at the Bio Omega Thresher in the Phage district of the Dominion area in the center of the map. For my shield, I'm using the Timekeeper's new shield. You can get this from the Timekeeper in the center of the map right here. If you didn't know, you can hold A on this or whatever button you have and then fast travel directly to the interior of the map. This is the best shield for this because it's gold text, basically just gives you extra maximum health. It gives you health regeneration and then reduces damage taken. So you have a little bit of a shield doing damage mitigation, but the big thing is that 7,400 bonus health goes directly into your Bloodshot perk. Alright, our next piece of equipment here is going to be the Undead Eye class mod. This one, you can see I have 4 in the Bloodshot, which is the bullet on the left. You want to get as many stacks of this as you possibly can in order to do the most damage. And then my stats, kinetic damage and sniper rifle damage. From what I've seen, they all come with sniper rifle damage, but the kinetic damage is an extra bonus because the Looming Truck is kinetic. And then also, killing an enemy with a sniper rifle triggers Bloodshot, and then critically hitting an enemy with sniper rifle has a 33% chance to trigger Bloodshot. This all just goes into trying to trigger Bloodshot as much as often in order to do the most damage, because we're using this combined with Timekeeper's shield, which is doing extra health. So that means each Bloodshot is doing more damage. So 1 in 3 shots is going to be a Bloodshot if we're critically hitting, and every kill, after every kill, the next shot will be a Bloodshot. So all of those will have amp damage from using Bloodshot. Next, for my enhancement, I couldn't find a good enhancement that had exactly what I was looking for, but this one came with gun damage and sniper rifle damage, so I went ahead and used that. If you find one with gun damage and then extra sniper rifle damage, extra sniper rifle crits, both of those would be really helpful. Or sniper rifle mag size would be useful because you only have 4 shots with this shotgun, which is not too bad considering it fires pretty quickly and you're doing a lot of damage with each shot. Any of those would help out. From a rep kit, I'm using the large triple bypass. I'm using this because it's got 3 charges. This helps you like when you're going into a fight and you haven't killed anything in a while. If you use your rep kit, your next shot will be a bloodshot, which will be amped damage, so you want to use that. If you end up in a fight, you're chain killing and then hit something that doesn't one-shot die, then you can use your rep kit to make sure that your next shot is guaranteed to be a bloodshot and get extra damage on it that way. You can also use this if you want to try to stealth kill things. You can use your rep kit, get the bloodshot automatically started, and then shoot something from a distance. You can get the triple bypass from Back Hive here in the Fade Fields. The mine entrance is right here just above where Zadra's backup plan fast travel station is. For your ordnance, there's really not a set piece in here. I'm using the knife because it's the one I already have Deadeye on. And then as we're talking about Deadeye, I'll go ahead and talk to my firmware. So I've got 3 in the Deadeye, so gaining gun accuracy 30%, crit damage by 25%, and then every crit grants 15% stacking for 5 times. This one just seemed to work the best because we're chain killing crit kills if we can, going for those headshots on the mobs while you're running around, and then that synergizes well with your kill skills that we've gotten in the Vexcalation tree of gun damage boost here from Grave Implements. And so overall, it's just better. It just works really well to have Deadeye. So for our second firmware, I'm using Oscar Mike. Doing this because the gun reload speed, 10% increase. You're shooting 1 shot per second and reloading every 4 seconds because you only have 4 shots in the magazine. So the extra reload speed just is beneficial to being able to keep up the fire rate. Even though the Looming Truck has a pretty quick reload speed, it's not great compared to some other ones. So the extra reload speed helps. And then gun damage increased up to 20% based on the emptiness of your magazine. So from what I found, this essentially added each shot, it added 2,000 more than the previous shot to your gun damage. So just a little bit of an increase on gun damage. And that goes into stacking with your kill skills and stacking with the bloodshot. So Oscar Mike just seems to work best for me right now. But if you have any suggestions for firmware, let me know in the comments below and I'll give it a shot and we'll see if we can make something better than this. Alright, lastly for specializations, the first one we're going to do is in the zone in the sharpshooter tree. So when we're aiming, we'll gain gun damage and critical hit damage, 5% per stack. So if you're using this as a normal sniper rifle, you'll be able to aim in, gain those stacks before you take your initial shot. And then if you're using it the way that I use it in the clips before at the start of the video, then you're able to get about 1 stack per second. And then if you just ADS again, you'll be able to keep those stacks and hopefully gain some more. Next, we're going to do 1 shot, 1 kill. So this one's big because any excess damage is stored and added to your next gunshot. So if you don't kill him on the first shot, then take a shot and it does a lot of excess damage. All of that will go into the next shot that you take, which is why it's big to try to chain kills in this, because this goes into that chaining kills. So getting the kill skills up, getting your kill skills, getting your different stacks up from the critical hits from Deadeye, and then getting your bloodshots after each sniper kill. If you add a bloodshot in with 1 shot, 1 kill excess damage stored, it can be a 1 shot kill for the next one, which will do excess damage, and then it is once again just a chain sniper kills. Next is going to be overkill. So killing an enemy with a critical hit will cause them to explode, dealing skill damage. This just helps. We're already doing a lot of critical hits because we're sniping, going for those soft spots, but doing a critical hit then causes them to explode, doing more damage to the enemies around them. So you have less to take off when you go for the next shot if there's anything that got hit by the initial blast. On top of that, we're also using Jacob's gun, so when you get a critical hit, it's going to ricochet. That has a chance then to hit a critical hit and explode on enemy, so you can chain kill a lot of things in a short period of time using these extra stacking methods. And then lastly, riddle you this: whenever the Vault Hunter deals gun damage, you gain a stack of riddle you this. It's only 1% per stack, but you're just doing gun damage consistently. It lasts for 6 seconds. So after 50 shots, you'll have 50% stack hit or stacks, but hopefully, depending on the area you're clearing out, you've already killed most of the enemies by that point. But either way, it's just extra gun damage that we're trying to add into our build here. Alright, and that's going to do it for my Bloodshot Sniper Vex build. This build was so much fun to use, so much fun to put together. Give it a shot. Let me know in the comments if you do. Also, tell me if there's any firmware you think that might be able to help out this build even more than Oscar Mike. Also, like and subscribe for more Borderlands 4 content and build videos. See ya!